Hi everyone, my name is Lightworker and welcome back to the channel. This channel is dedicated, excuse me, this channel is dedicated to helping chosen ones, earth angels, star seeds, lightworkers, and anyone on a journey of spiritual growth to awaken, align, and ascend. Straight up. If you're new here, I'm also a musician. You can find my music under Lightworker Music on YouTube. I'll put the links down below. And it's also on Spotify under Lightworker. If you'd like to support the mission, check out the Lightworker Empire store in the description below. Today's topic is the most misunderstood part. Sorry, I'll say that again, my bad. Today's topic is one of the most misunderstood parts of spiritual growth, and that's known as forgiveness. Many people think forgiveness means pretending nothing happened or allowing people to hurt you again. It doesn't mean that. What forgiveness means when you put it in practice, it's allowing you freedom from the burdens of that problem, that person, that situation, that pain, that trauma. It's freeing you from it. It's breaking the chains. Forgiveness is a chain breaker. That's if we're talking like warrior terms for what forgiveness is, it's a chain breaker. Yeah. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what forgiveness really is, why it's important, and how it can help you move forward with more peace and freedom. Okay? Now, firstly, what is forgiveness? What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is choosing to let go of resentment, bitterness, and the desire for revenge. And forgiveness also allows you to let go of the pain in a lot of circumstances surrounding it. It doesn't stop the pain, it allows you to let go of the pain. Okay? Now, in my personal opinion, what softens the pain and eases the pain is shadow work, but forgiveness allows you to be free from the chains of that pain. Yeah? Okay, it doesn't erase what happened. It doesn't mean the other person was right or okay with what they did was okay. It doesn't mean that at all. It simply means you stop allowing the past to have power over your present. Forgiveness is something you do for yourself. It's not for the other person. Imagine carrying around a heavy backpack every day. Every grudge, every betrayal, every painful memory adds another brick or rock in the backpack. Forgiveness is taking those rocks out one by one. Take the rocks out of the backpack. Yeah. Why forgiveness is so hard? Most people struggle because they've confused forgiveness with reconciliation. These are not the same thing. You can forgive someone and never speak to them again. You can forgive someone while maintaining healthy boundaries. You can forgive someone without trusting them. Trust is earned. Forgiveness is given. Doesn't mean you forget, but you can forgive. And I get a lot of people like, oh no, it's stuff that happened to me, no one can ever forgive. You can forgive. You can forgive. And like I said, don't confuse forgiveness with reconciliation. Forgiveness is in its own situation. Reconciliation is like, oh, everything's okay. You condone what happened or whatever. Reconciliation is like it's all good. Forgiveness is freeing yourself of the pain of that wrongdoing, the pain of that trauma, the pain of that burden. Okay? Now, to my next part. Forgiving yourself. For many people, the hardest person to forgive is themselves. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've hurt people. Maybe you've wasted years. Maybe you've struggled with addiction, anger, fear, regret. Every human has made mistakes. It's a part of being human. The important question is, are you human? Because if you are, you will make mistakes. The important question isn't, what have I done? The important question is, who am I choosing to become? Growth begins the moment you stop defining yourself by your worst day. Stop defining yourself by your worst traits, your worst behaviors. Forgiveness begins within yourself when you realize that you are not those things. You're a human being, not a human doing. You may have done shitty things, but you're still a person. You're still a percentage of the sun. You're still a human being, not a human doing. We are not what we do. We are who we are. And if we choose to be fuckheads, then guess what? You're going to get a fuckhead result. Play silly games, get silly prizes. If you choose to be a good person, you're going to get a good result. So it's up to you which polarity you feed. Yeah, that's just how it works. Karma exists, Dharma exists, and you can't fuck with either. You can't stop a tower from happening. You can't stop from abundance from happening if it's meant and it's due and it's coming your way. Even if you doubt it, it's still going to happen. It might take longer to come in your reality, but if you don't doubt it, it'll come quicker into your reality. But in all realistic truth, at the end of the day, the universe works how it wants to work in mysterious ways, and no one can stop it. What is meant for you will be meant for you regardless. Okay? But you make it a lot easier and a lot better for your reality and the people around you if you choose to be good of heart. You make it a lot harder and a lot worse for the people around you if you choose to be a fuckwit. So it's up to you. Yeah? What holding on can feel like. Holding on to anger can feel powerful at first. It can feel really really powerful. It can seem like protection. Choosing to forgive doesn't erase what happens or what's happened. It can be a way of deciding that those experiences won't continue to define your future. Yeah? Forgiveness is strength. Some people believe forgiveness is weakness. Actually, holding on to hate is easy. Choosing peace takes courage. Choosing love takes courage. Choosing to heal takes courage. Forgiveness is one of the strongest decisions a person can make. And it's very empowering when you realize that you have forgiveness in your life and you practice it on a daily basis. Practical ways to begin forgiving. Here are some practical, examples, yeah? Acknowledge your feelings honestly. Don't sugarcoat, don't pretend, don't sit in silence. Fuck silence, that fucking nah. I used to sit in silence, let people walk all over me, yeah? Does not happen today, no sirree Bob. Today I tell fuckers how it is. Someone does me wrong, they're going to fucking know about it. Oh, they're going to know about it. I won't harm them physically, but I'll tell them straight up how they fucked up and then let karma deal with the fucks. Yeah? Because at the end of the day, everything is cause and effects. Everything is polarity. Everything is the law of attraction. So the laws of the universe are always in effect, whether we want to acknowledge them or not. We can't pretend like they don't exist. They fucking exist. Yeah? So the more we forgive people to let ourselves be free, the freer we are in our reality. The more positive we are in our reality, and the less power those pains, traumas, and hardships have over us in a negative manner. The more we forgive, the more we find power in those hardships. The more we find the lessons in those hardships. Yeah? Because we see it from a higher perspective. And that's very important. Okay? So acknowledge your feelings honestly. Allow yourself time to grieve. Okay? It's okay to say to motherfucker, get out of my life. I don't want to see you. It's okay to say that. But you have to arrive at some point in your journey of forgiveness because it frees you from the pain that you were put through. Yeah? Forgiveness for the pain you put others through. Yeah? Because we've all done that stuff, whether we've intentionally done it or not. We are humans, we make mistakes. We are humans, we do shitty things sometimes. And it's just the way life is. But if we choose to be of good nature, and we choose a trajectory of our life that's on a good path, with full of good things that we need in our life to make us in alignment with our higher self, we are sweet. We're each swar. But if we fuck around, we will find out. And that's just how it works. The universe does not give a fuck what you want. It gives a fuck about what you need to reach your highest purpose in life. Yeah? So allow yourself time to grieve. Accept that you cannot change the past. Focus on what you can control today, which is very little. Outside of yourself, your thinking, and your actions, you can't control fuck all. You can manifest shit and work with the universal laws to make everything in your reality work out, but you have to have complete faith and you have to have done the shadow work. Come on, Kojak. Sorry, my dogs. There's possums. There's possums around my fucking, my house, and my dog just skitzes out at walls and barks at walls for no fucking reason. And you think he's schizophrenic doggy, but really he smells them possums and he's like, intruders. Yeah, funny dog. Anyway, he doesn't really bark though. He just runs at walls and then stares intently at the wall like he's having an illusion. He sees everything, old spiritual doggy. Kojak, his name is. Kojak the doggy. Okay, so, accept that you can't change the past. Focus on what you can control, which is very little. If you learn to manifest, it's a lot. But that's not you controlling it. That's you working with the waves and frequencies of nature and the universe in alignment through the natural laws of the universe to be able to manifest your reality. And that comes from you working from within to the point where you can work everything out from without having to control it, which is very difficult but worth doing. I do it every day. And it's taken me 12 years to get to this point. 12 years of hardships, 12 years of hard lessons, and a lot of inner searching, a lot of shadow work, a lot of meditation, a lot of gratitude, a lot of cutting shit out of my life that didn't serve my highest purpose, a lot of boundaries put in place, a lot of beneficial acts of self-care, and a lot of service to others without taking away from my own self-care. Yeah? All right. Now, if you're struggling with forgiveness, write a letter that you never send. All right? Read the letter and then burn the letter in a ceremonial, symbolic gesture to let go of what you're holding up that you wanted closure for in that letter. Write it all out. How you felt, what you went through, your pains, your fears, what you wanted, what you felt you needed, what you felt happened, and everything. Just write it all out. Write it all out. Doesn't matter if it's a journal size dossier. You write it all out so it gets out of your mind onto paper, and then read it all through, and then take 3 big deep breaths out, and every breath you breathe out longer than you're breathing in, because it'll calm you, and envision as you're breathing out, you're releasing that negative energy and that resentment and that pain and the trauma. Okay? And then do a shitload of shadow work on the area. And meditate about how the universe wants you to forgive. And meditate on it. Which is you just meditate. Things come to you. You don't have to search for things when you're meditating, but you just meditate regularly. Do shadow work regularly. Okay? And write this letter and then burn it in the ceremonial practice as if you're releasing it back to the universe. And you watch. It may not happen straight away, but if you put that into practice and you rigorously and honestly do that practice that I just suggested for you to do, surrounding that forgiveness, in sure enough time, you will fucking forgive the situation, the person, the trauma, the issue. And then from that forgiveness, you realize it has no control over you anymore. It has no bearing on no power of you anymore. Spend time in meditation and quiet reflection. Practice gratitude alongside forgiveness. Be grateful for the lesson you learned from it. You do enough shadow work surrounding the issue, you'll gain the lesson. You'll extract the lesson from that pain, that hardship, that trauma. Yeah? Yeah, it's powerful stuff. Very powerful. Set healthy boundaries where needed. Always. Cut people out of your life at will. Be a chopping board with a samurai sword attached to it and just be like, ching, 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 get the fuck out of my life, motherfuckers. Right? Because you don't need bullshit. You only have so much time in this experience on Earth. Don't waste it around fuckheads being fuckwits, wasting your fucking energy. Yeah? So set healthy boundaries where needed. Be patient with yourself. Healing takes time. And while you're trying to do this healing, Show yourself a lot of self-love, a lot of self-care. And if you can't meet your expectations, don't lower your expectations. Just be under the realization it's progress, not perfection, and it's okay to make mistakes. As long as we learn from those mistakes and progress. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Some lessons should never be forgotten. Fuck no. You know? An elephant never forgets. I'm a fucking elephant. Straight up. Straight up. Yeah, I'm a fucking elephant. I don't forget shit. I forgive a lot. I forgive everything I can forgive. Anytime I can forgive everything. Sometimes I can't forgive things straight away. Okay, that's just me. You know, sometimes I'm fuck this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I get all of my lower frequencies and shit and be like, fuck this motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? But the thing is, I learn to forgive over time. Because time makes it easier to see things from a higher perspective. When you're in the middle of a situation that's really unfair or really painful or really, draining, you might react the wrong way. You might take things from the wrong perspective. But given time, because time and space creates a different perspective. You know, if I had thought about my 25-year-old self compared to my 35-year-old self, I had a completely different frame of thinking when I was 25. I was basically an NPC at that point, yeah? Basically, I still had soul, yeah? But I was asleep that motherfucker. I was asleep, hard out. I was asleep. Everything was material. Everything was the next thing I could consume to make myself feel less broken. Everything was externalized. Everything was materialized. Everything was objectified. Yeah, that was just how I was when I was 25. Yeah, but when I'm 35, complete fucking opposite. The polarity of that shit. Yeah, because I spiritually awoken. I started to realize my substance, my depth. Yeah, my love, my true nature, and my caring attributes, and my empathic developed gifts. You know, when I was 25, if I had told my 25-year-old self I was going to become spiritual, and possibly become a spiritual, influencer of types, my 25-year-old self would have said, "Fuck off, man." You know what I mean? It's just how it was. But now things change. And because as the years went on, I went through more hardships, more betrayals, and I grew so strong that I realized my depth was so deep. I was so deep as a person, and I saw how society was corrupt. Not society, but the polarities of society. One end with the majority of people, which is good-hearted, just trying to survive the day, being the average Aussie battler and so forth and so whatnot. And then you got the other polarity, which is a bunch of snake reptilian fucks. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. But you know what I mean? It's just... and they're all hide behind everything, and, they're all fucking hoodoo-voodoo, fucking satanic, witch doctory pedo shit. And then you got a bunch of cunts trying to fucking get through the day and who probably give their shirt off their back to help their neighbour, And that's the polarities of this world. And I realised that, in order to see my true light, I needed to witness true evil. And realise I never want to be like that. I want to be the polarity of that. Yeah? And that's when my journey really started to unfold, And like I said, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Some lessons should never be fucking forgotten. Straight up. The wisdom stays. The resentment doesn't have to. You remember the lesson. You release the emotional burden. That creates space for new relationships, new opportunities, and a more peaceful future. Straight up. Okay, signs you are healing from this forgiveness. You may notice thinking about the situation with less emotional intensity. Not like a numbness, but a less emotional intensity. Another sign is feeling calmer and more present within yourself on a daily basis. Less desire for revenge, less let's focus on hatred towards that trauma, towards towards the situation, the thing, the person, whatever the fuck it is that has caused you the burdens and the traumas and the wrongdoing, the betrayal and the pain. Right? Let's desire to be in a low vibration towards that. Yeah. More compassion for yourself. 100%. If you can show compassion for someone who's traumatized you, I think about, okay, I'll put this in perspective. This is going to wig some people out, but my childhood abuser, the man that sexually abused me for 10 years, I sometimes think about his life now and feel compassion and pity for him. Okay? Pity is probably not the best thing to think in another person, but I sometimes think compassionately because I think, he's really damaged. He's a really unwell person. He had to spend, 14 years in prison because he deserved to, 100%, but he still had to do that. So my heart naturally gives some compassion to people that have wronged me because that's how deep my heart is. And it'll probably be a lot to get your head around, but forgiveness enables you to show people that have done you wrong compassion. Yeah? And compassion, once again, isn't reconciliation. Compassion is where you can think from a higher perspective with love in your heart towards someone that's done you wrong. Or anything, any situation. It's just when you think from a place of compassion, it's about putting yourself. It's an empathic trait, compassion. Yeah, where you put yourself in another person's shoes in a sense, and your heart goes out to him in a sense. I'm not saying what he did was okay. I'm not saying what he copped wasn't was unjust for him. Fuck that. He deserved probably more time in jail. He abused 4 fucking children for 10 years. But the point being is, I was able to think from such a high perspective that my heart actually felt for a person who caused me so much trauma, so much pain, and so much fear in my life, and really damaged me as a person back in the day when I was little, and I grew up, and a lot of my behaviours around being afraid of boys, and when I was at school, being teased by the boys because I'd hang around the girls at school, and me getting in fights, so I was seen as a violent person at school, all this kind of stuff, going to behavioural school because of that, all the rest of it. These things all have a cause and effect, but the point being is that I was able to forgive, then I was able to have compassion for the person who abused me. And that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of compassion and goodness of heart to do that. Most people that get something wrong to them, if they're nasty enough, they just go, I'm going to fuck your life up, and they do that, you know what I mean? You fuck around and find out with the wrong person, you know what I mean? I'm not like that. I'll cut someone out of my life. I won't fuck them over. I'll leave it to karma. 100%. I mean, if something's unjust and I witness injustice, I will stand in truth. I will stand in justice over that situation 100%. I don't need to let karma fucking sort out that unjust situation because I am justice in physical form. I am truth in the physical form. I choose to be those things. It's a choice to be those things. So I will stand in between that situation and verse it head on with righteousness and authority because I am speaking truth and I'm acting in justice, acting out of justice. Okay? So I have no problem putting someone in their fucking place, if they're doing wrong. Yeah? And I also minded, sometimes I can say someone's doing something wrong and I might be wrong about the reasons why they're doing it. Someone could be stealing something from a shop. I used to be a thief. I used to shoplift every day. Someone could be stealing something from a shop and I'll go and tap them on the shoulder, buddy, put it back. You can't do that. And I used to be the biggest fucking thief in the world. Every day I was stealing from Coles and stealing from Woolies and stealing from fucking Westfields, and I made a career out of it for 15 fucking years, went to jail 3 times over it. But my point being is nowadays, I tap him on the shoulder, not to embarrass him, not to say he's done anything wrong, but I'll say, brother, look, I will say an attack for me, and I'll say, brother, I think there's loss prevention officers in this store. I think you should put that back. Do you want me to buy it for you? That's what I'd say to him, if I had the money on me. Because I don't want him to continue his behaviour. So what I'll do is tell him what, you know, I'll be a good Samaritan in the matter because I know what it's like to be desperate. You know, I won't judge him for it because I've been there. You know, this is just one example with shoplifting. Okay, it just and you know, if I can have compassion for someone that abused me for 10 years, I can have compassion for anything. I can have forgiveness for anything. And if you think you can't forgive and can't have compassion for something, you're wrong. You fucking can. Okay? What's happening is you're so in fear of it, or so much pain of it, or so much hatred of it, and so much trauma surrounding it, is you're refusing to see what it's really about from within, to look at the real issues involving it, to grow from it, take the lesson, let it leave you in terms of its power and its chains it has over you, and free yourself from it. And the strength you get from that is incredible, fucking incredible. But the thing is, you've got to be authentically honest and rigorously courageous with your searchings inside about the situation. Because if you're not, then all you're doing is entertaining a false reality. You're living in an illusion that you're stuck in pain. You're chained in pain and trauma because you will not look inside. Okay, the trauma you have isn't because of the situation. It was created by the situation. The trauma you have inside is because your psyche has been fragmented by that trauma. So you need to look inside to reintegrate that fragmentation of your mind back into your conscious from your subconscious. And the only way you can do that is to look inside deeply and courageously, not fearlessly. I had a lot of fear surrounding shit. I postponed it for a long time. But when I did this work, wow. The growth I got from it, the lessons I learned from it, the understanding and insight I have now because of it, the strength I've built, you know, through shadow work and meditation. Fuck. And I'm a titan. I'm a fucking titan, straight up. You know, I'm not, I don't need to beat around the bush. I don't need to sugarcoat shit. You know? Anyone can think what they want, but I'm a fucking real one. I know that. Okay? And I don't need to even say that, okay? But the point is, I'm trying to get you to understand what it does for you. The authenticity you build from these techniques, these skills that you develop through these practices. It's so important because these are the things that are going to help humanity spiritually ascend and reach a new state of evolution. Because everyone's looking for an outside solution to an internal problem. And if we look internally for the problem, face it, learn the lesson from it, let it go, then we're free to take on a new reality. And that's the powerful shit. Okay, so have more compassion for yourself. Greater inner peace. More emotional freedom. Healing rarely happens overnight, straight up. Sometimes it takes ages. With the shadow work, I remember there's one situation involving the same ex who was part of a cult that evil demon witch vampire energy vampire fuck bitch fuck so yeah, I'm not in resentment of it. It's just she's mind-boggling a clusterfuck, you know what I mean? That's how much she fuck with my life, you know. Yeah, I still got a bit of taste in my mouth when someone mentions her name, but there's no hatred there. There's just like, fuck, how did I put up with that shit, you know? There's a bit of self shock as to what, you know, I'm very, very perseverant, and I'm very, my endurance and my ability to put up with shit is fucking commendable, okay? Because the shit that she put me through and the way I used to view her when I was in the rose-colored glasses, rose-painted glasses, right? Oh, it's not her fault, she's from a cult, you know, and she can, you say she's a sicko, right? Straight up, she's a sicko, and she needs to be, you know, look, a lot of karma deal with that one, but in all honesty, it took me a long time to realize she was a sicko, because I didn't want to acknowledge that, because I wanted to stay in love with the idea of being in love with her. You know, when I look at it realistically, she wasn't that fucking great as a person. She was a terrible fucking person. But the thing is, I was in love with the idea of her. I had built this illusion up so strongly, and this infatuation with a personality type that didn't fucking exist because she was all illusions. She was all fucking, you know, playing me. She was a big player, you know, and fucking, if it wasn't for the grace of God and the help of Spirit and my spirit team, I'd be fucked. I'd be so fucked it's not funny. And that was her intention for me. So she didn't have my best interest at heart, but I had her best interest at heart. But I didn't love her. I loved the idea I've created surrounding who I wanted her to be in my mind. Yeah? And that's delusional shit. Straight up. Yeah? And I can see it from that perspective now. I can see it for what it is. Not what I wanted it to be. Not what I hoped it would be. Not what I was trying to control it to be like. You know? What? Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Anyway, listen. Healing rarely happens overnight. It's usually a gradual process, yeah? So it's like progress, not perfection. One step at a time. You might take a few steps back. Keep going forward. Keep going forward. Be that emu. Be that kangaroo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, straight up. A simple reflection for yourself, okay? Ask yourself this. Who am I still carrying anger towards? What is the anger costing me? What would become possible if I let some of that burden go? What small step could I take towards healing today? You don't have to rush the answers. Just begin. Okay? And look, that's basically the wax surrounding forgiveness. And you know, my chosen ones, my earth angels, my light workers, my star seeds, my entities and beings of light that wish to awaken, align, and ascend. Here's the last part of this lesson, I guess, around forgiveness. 3-point challenge. Okay, before our next video, I'd love you to try these 3 things. Write down one person or one situation you've been holding on to. Spend 10 minutes reflecting on what you're ready to release, even if it's only a little bit. Little tiny bit. Okay? Spend 10 minutes reflecting on what you're ready to release, even if it's only a little tiny bit. Do one kind thing for yourself this week as a reminder that your healing matters. Every time you do something to progress in this spiritual manner of forgiveness, shadow work, every time you succeed formulating it, once you formulate a daily plan where you put all these things into practice and you succeed practicing all these things just for a little bit of time each day, right? Watch how it unfolds in your life, but also take time to show yourself self-care and self-love for doing these things, because it means you're progressing and you're also amplifying your ability to grow by showing yourself love. Okay? So it's like a reward. Don't reward yourself with negative shit like drugs or alcohol or porn or, gambling or some shit. Reward yourself with something beautiful like having a nice hot bath with Epsom salt and lavender, you know what I mean? Something like that, yeah? Meditate while you're doing that in the bath. Do a guided meditation in the bath with the lavender, the Epsom salt, and the Insight Timer app, you know what I mean? Just, yeah, and that's a ritual in itself. It's a positive ritual for the beings of light to cleanse their aura and to free themselves of burdens through that act after doing forgiveness. And that's a reward for doing the forgiveness. See what I'm saying? So you do many kind things for yourself, but always try and progress on the spiritual path. Because this is very important. The stuff that I'm trying to get as many people to realize as possible that they should utilize on a daily basis in their life. Yeah. Then come back to this video. Yeah. Once you've done those things, and let me know in the comments what was the hardest part of forgiveness for you. I'd love to hear your experience. I'd love to hear your experiences and support each other as a community. Thank you so much for spending this time with me.
If this video has helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need and share it with someone who might benefit. Don't forget to check out my music, Lightworker Music, on YouTube and Spotify. I'll put in the link down below. You can also support the mission through the Lightworker Empire shop. Links are in the description. In the next video, we're gonna. It's a surprise. It's a surprise. Oh yeah. I was about to say it's a secret. I don't know why I said that, but I don't keep secrets. Secrets keep secrets are fucked up. You know, if someone else tells me a secret, I'm just like, well, it's not mine. It's not mine to, you know, fucking fester with. So I don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But if I've got a secret, I pretty quickly polarize that shit. You know what I mean? I'm pretty fucking authentic today, and I got nothing to hide. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty straight up like that. Yeah, I don't like secrets. You know what I mean? Everyone has the right to have their own privacy, and that's cool. But I don't like secrets. Something you keep inside yourself that gains that kind of power. It starts controlling you, and you tell no one about, and it fucks your life up and makes you really unwell as a person. Okay, especially if it's a negative secret. Yeah. Okay, so everyone, until next time, keep awakening, keep aligning, keep ascending. Peace. Light work out, y'all.